This is Sparta!
Broadcasting live from WOYK's downtown studios, talking York's home teams. Welcome to York College Spartan Sports Weekly on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK. Now, here are your hosts of Spartan Sports Weekly, Darrell Henry and Scott Guise.
And this week, that is accurate. We've left Derek behind. What's he doing, Scott?
He's actually doing some work, so we got a busy week
sure?
this week. Yes, he is doing work. So
Okay.
he had just gotten a little lunch from Parma and was settling in for a nice afternoon of stuff.
All right. Happy opening day to you.
This is the best day of the year, man. I love this. The Indians and Red Sox open up at 4:10, which the game will be 2 hours old by the time you hear this, but certainly very excited to see what this season has to offer. And are your Phillies opening today or tomorrow?
Today in Cincinnati, same time as your Tribe.
Okay.
4:10.
Be awesome. And, of course, the free preview of the Major League Baseball Network on DirecTV will make me very happy. So I'll get to watch some games this week, which it always makes me tempted to spend the money to get it, but then I figure then I'm going to feel obligated to watch every game, and that probably wouldn't be good for my household. So
I'll be in a meeting when first pitch is thrown today, so that's fun.
Well,
that's exciting.
Hey,
yeah.
You know what? The best part,
I've
the last probably 4 years maybe, I've gotten the MLB at Bat app.
Mm-hmm.
So I get to listen to all the Indians games, and
I'll
of
be
course
purchasing this afternoon.
Yeah, I of course listen. I actually get, for the first time ever, I had it automatically renewed. So I had to make sure I get usually somebody will get me an Apple gift card for an iTunes gift card for Christmas. So I always put that aside, and that's what I use to pay my at Bat app each year. And actually this year my son got it for the first time. He's all excited about it. I think, and now I'm not just saying this because we're good friends, but I love baseball on the radio. Obviously when the Indians are off, I listen to you, but
of course,
I just love it, and the ability of a really good play-by-play guy, to paint a picture is it's awesome. So I really enjoy that. And the great thing about the At Bat app, I can take it anywhere I go and listen to it. So if I'm out mowing the lawn, I can listen to the Tribe or cry while there. It always seems when I mow the lawn, bad things happen. So I try to not pick times when that happens, so I don't have to listen to losses because I feel obligated to continue to listen, but it's all good.
You could listen to the WOYK app with WOYK earbuds, which if you don't have any,
I have some. I know exactly where they're at. So don't worry. They get my listenership.
I don't worry. Tonight we have a half-hour show, so this will be action-packed. We're taking you up to our national championship game coverage, which begins at 6:30 tonight. So we're with you right up until Westwood 1 hits the air from Houston, Villanova against North Carolina. Scott, thoughts on that one? And by the way, what is the temperament around the office at YCP headquarters? Because I know on our basketball staff, there's some Duke fans. There's always some UNC fans. What's it like within the offices?
Honestly, I think there's a little bit of a level of disappointment. The games haven't been great.
Well,
the quality of the games after the first weekend. I thought the first weekend was as exciting and fun as we've ever had. Not ever, but they were some really exciting endings to games. The last 2 weekends, the Sweet 16, the games weren't very good. The Elite Eight, the games weren't great. The Final Four, obviously, the games were, the Syracuse-North Carolina game was okay for 3 quarters of it. But, Oklahoma, somebody want to tell Oklahoma the game's over now? It's, I think they might be cowering in the corner somewhere, which is a shame because they had a great year. I mean, Buddy Hield, obviously a great player, but, Villanova's just the hot team right now. I guess I hope that it's just a good game tonight. That it's a championship caliber game that's back and forth, and that's all I want to see. Obviously Villanova is a great story. Jay Wright I think's always done an outstanding job, but maybe a situation where they don't get as much credit for how good they've been because they've had some flameouts in the tournament.
Yep.
But he's a great coach. Obviously Roy Williams, very accomplished, and has an opportunity to become historic in Carolina. So it's going to be interesting. Like I said, I hope for a good game. I hope a back and forth game. I hope it I hope there's a buzzer-beating shot to win a national championship. I think that would be awesome. So we'll see. And, I think everybody's brackets were busted so early this year.
Yeah.
But there were that first weekend I thought was fantastic. It really, really was good. So I've always said this is the best day in sports when your baseball team's opening up, and then at nighttime there's the national championship game. So looking forward to, obviously I'm shockingly a huge Indians fan, so I'm really excited to see what they can do this year.
Yeah, it doesn't get much better than this day on the sports calendar. And Scott, let's get to our Spartan updates for the week and the hottest team in town, men's lacrosse. And we had the Children's Cup last week as well.
We did.
Thanks,
hey,
Will.
They're red hot again. They've won 4 in a row. They picked up a pair of wins this week. They're now all alone as the 4th-ranked team in the country after this week. They began the week with a 15-11 win over St. Mary's. Actually, that's the most goals they've allowed this year is the 11. And credit St. Mary's. Spartans came out and scored the first 5 goals of the game. It was 5-0 pretty early on. And the St. Mary's came back and really I thought was a credit to them. They played hard. They, Jason Childs, obviously Brandon's older brother, first year at the helm of the program, doing a really good job. I mean, their record's not great, but what he had to deal with, I think, in terms of the talent coming back, has done an outstanding job. But the Spartans picked up a 15-11 win. As I said, the most goals they've allowed this year. York sprinted out to a 5-0 lead. Then both teams scored 4 goals in the second. Both teams scored 4 goals in the third. And then St. Mary's outscored York 3-2 in the fourth. But that game was already in hand. It was a big day for Andrew Gamble, 4 goals. Austin Glab, 3 goals. Thomas Pfeiffer, 2. Nick Magnuson, 2. And Andrew Gamble, is now 2 points away from joining the 200-point club. And that occurred. He did not score against Frostburg. But then they came and they went to Frostburg, number 20 in the country, on Saturday. By the end of the game, the weather was about as miserable and nightmarish as it could possibly be. I was watching the game from the comfort of my kitchen table as I was writing baseball. And the video, it was just our green uniforms, which are normally a Kelly green, looked like they were a dark green because they were just so wet. It was pretty nasty. A lot of rain, wind, a little bit of snow mixed in because Frostburg significantly elevated, so it was a lot colder. It was not a pleasant night, but an 8-4 win for the Spartans as they knocked off yet another nationally ranked team. Andrew Gamble had an assist. Hunter Davis, 2 goals. Nick Magnuson, 2 goals. Austin Glab, Cameron Leach, Dylan Hanna, and Thomas Pfeiffer each scored a goal for York. So they outshot Frostburg 37-21. It was a 22-18 edge in ground balls. And really, one of the big stars of the night was a defender, Josh Kluver, who forced 6. Let me make sure I had this correct. He had 6 ground balls and had 3 caused turnovers. And actually, for that effort, he earned the CAC Defensive Player of the Week as he finished the week with 7 ground balls and 7 caused turnovers in 2 games. So he picked up that honor. Caleb Abney improved to 10-0 as he picked up the win. He made 5 saves, allowed 4 goals. James Anderson played 4 minutes and recorded 1 save for York. So another win. They continue to kind of chug along. This will be a challenging week as they will head to Wesley on Wednesday. That game itself, not very challenging as Wesley's been struggling a little bit within the conference. But then they head to Stevenson on Friday and then host a resurgent Southern Virginia team on Saturday. Southern Virginia, a team that was really, quite frankly, a doormat for the last couple years, has really played much better. They gave Christopher Newport a game last week. It was actually 10-9 in the fourth quarter. And Christopher Newport actually ran off like 10 straight. But offensively, Southern Virginia has the ability to make life a little bit more difficult on opponents. Now, obviously, one of the Spartan strengths is defense, and they've played very, very well defensively all year. In fact, they're 5th in the country in goals against average, even after Wednesday's game against St. Mary's. So they've been very, very good this year. They've only allowed 73 goals in 12 games this year. So a very impressive number and certainly something that's been has been interesting to see. And conversely, Frostburg State's allowed 76 goals in 13 games. That's why the game was 8-4 on Saturday. So it's going to be a busy week. As I said, Southern Virginia, they picked up their first 2 wins in conference. They're now 2-4 and 5-7 overall. And it's a team that gives up goals, but they score a lot of goals too. In fact, they've scored the exact same number of goals as the Spartans have, 147 in 12 games. So it'll be a little bit more of a challenge than it's been the last couple years. However, it's going to be something where York's going to have to play well, and hopefully, and Stevenson's a team that started off slow this year, but really has recovered and is playing nicely right here. So it's going to be a challenging week, and then next Wednesday, Salisbury. And end the regular season next Saturday, the 16th, at Christopher Newport. So 2 more home games to go this year, this Saturday. And if you want to come out, actually, they're also dedicating the patio, or the what should I call it? Kind of the outside area between Graham Field and Kinsley Field. That's now going to be named after Phil Avillo, who was the longtime club lacrosse coach and actually ushered the team into the varsity status back in 2000. So there's been a movement among alums to donate and name that patio area for him. So that'll be part of the festivities on Saturday. That'll occur actually after the men's game. They play at 3 o'clock. That'll be after that game, probably around 5 o'clock out in that patio area. So it's certainly a great honor for Phil, and nice to recognize somebody who had such a significant impact on the program.
Yeah, very nice. And not that we're overly concerned about this at this juncture, but what are the chances of the Spartans moving ahead of 4th in the country?
I think that somebody in front of them has to lose.
Yeah.
I think if they keep winning, those teams are pretty locked in. And I think that's a situation where it doesn't really mean a whole lot. I don't want to say it doesn't mean anything, because obviously it helps recruiting, it helps that stuff. It's great for me from a PR perspective to have the 4th ranked team in the country. But I think if you talk to Brandon, it's not something they dwell on. It's not something they think about. They know they're a good team, but really what they're worried about is literally what are we gonna do to beat Wesley on Wednesday? And I think that's one of the great focuses of this team is, there's an opportunity to go take care of business and to go win another game and to try and continue to have, the kind of year we've been having. I mean, we have 1 loss by 2 goals, and that's to a team that was 14th in the country. So, I think you look at how they've played and what they've done this year, it's been a pretty impressive season.
No doubt. Well, we will hit our first break here. We will talk women's lacrosse, softball, baseball, you name it, much more coming up here on another spring sports edition of York College Spartan Sports Weekly. By the way, our penultimate show in the schedule currently. We'll have another one next Monday, but then we get into Rev season. We all travel about the East Coast, and the schedule just absolutely goes to smithereens. But we will have a wrap-up show at the end of the athletic calendar year. That'll be in May and will be announced at a future date. But at any rate, this is our next to last show currently on the schedule. So you better enjoy it. We'll be back with more in just a moment here on Sports Radio 1350.
Hey, Dad, what's with all these papers and stuff?
Well, you're starting college in 2 weeks, and I'm doing some homework, cramming to find a college loan to pay the rest of your tuition. I'm afraid it's going to be an all-nighter, honey.
I wanted to talk to you about that, Dad. I think a student choice loan with York Educational FCU would be the best way to go.
YEFCU? We got a mortgage through them. Great rate, and I love the fact that they have free bill payer, but student loans?
Yeah, YEFCU's student choice loan pays for my cost of attendance at York College or most other four-year schools, minus the financial aid I already received. The student choice loan would take care of tuition, books, room and board, all that stuff. But the best part is that YEFCU Student Choice Loan is a one-time application. That means next year, I just tell them how much I need, and they'll disperse the money right to the school.
So we don't have to reapply every year?
Nope. So step away from the homework, Dad. A Student Choice Loan is the best move we can make.
So we're not staying up all night? Oh, did I ever tell you about the night I did an entire term paper in one night with an old typewriter and no correction ribbon?
What's a typewriter?
York Educational Federal Credit Union, 1601 South Queen Street, York. Apply online at yefcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
Blazing fast service for all of your wipeouts. OSS Health Urgent Care will take care of all of your muscular and skeletal sprains, pops, twists, and breaks in minutes, not hours. Open 7 days a week for your urgent orthopedic needs. Now at 2 convenient locations, 1855 Powder Mill Road in York and 856 Century Drive in Mechanicsburg. Visit us online at osshealth.com. OSS Health Urgent Care. Experience you can trust.
Security in life isn't something you just wish for. You build it with a strong financial plan. Start with Northwestern Mutual. Together, we'll design a disciplined and balanced approach to financial security, because reaching your goals is something we both want to work toward. To learn more, contact me, Dan McGarry, at my office on the Square in York. Look for the blue awnings. Who's helping you build your financial future? The Northwestern Mutual Life Insurance Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Your home for York's home team. The York College Spartans play here. Sports Radio 1350, WOYK, York.
Back here on York College Spartan Sports Weekly, we will continue the lacrosse theme here early on in the show. And Scott, the women's program, a talented bunch, but a tough week they're trying to put behind them from the past 7 days.
Well, and it's very interesting. There's, they've lost both games this week. Both losses coming to nationally ranked teams as they fell 5-4 at St. Mary's, who was ranked 20th at the time, and then Mary Washington, who's ranked 18th. They lost 11-6. Yeah, quite frankly, the team's biggest problem is they struggle to score. They lost a lot of offensive talent off of last year's team, and defensively they've been great. To give up the 11 goals were a season high in terms of defense, allowed defensively. But it's kind of weird when you're struggling at one end of the field. Eventually, it's going to catch up to the other end of the field, which is what has happened. The defense feels so much pressure to be perfect because we struggle to score. And that's, you look at the average goals per game. If you take out, our goals per game right now are 8.58. Take out the Wesley game, which we scored 18, and that average plummets. And that's not enough to be as good as I think we expected to be or wanted to be. And that being said, I think Coach Jen Mustin's done one of her best coaching jobs ever. She's had to deal with a lot of stuff this year that has really been detrimental to success. And I think it's whether it's injuries or some other things. She's done a fantastic job of keeping this ship afloat. And right now, they're kind of hitting a rough stretch, but they have the ability to kind of get healthy with at Frostburg State on Wednesday and then Southern Virginia at home. And then they end the season at Catholic, at Christopher Newport, which are two tough games. So, they need to get back on track. And I think that a pair of wins this week would help tremendously. But they need to go out and play well and to win. So, it's kind of, you look at our record 7-5, and it's actually better than what it could be. It could be a lot worse. So she's done a great job, and really, like I say, keeping the team afloat and keeping us going in the right direction. It just happened to be a pretty rough week for York.
Well, one program that is certainly going in the right direction, and we saw an all-time record fall over the weekend, is the softball team. And they are certainly on a roll here, having won 4 of 5, 7 of the last 9 overall as well. Yeah, they had it was a decent week. They're 18-8 overall. They started the week with a pair of wins at Albright. Suffered a pair of losses to Christopher Newport, who's ranked 4th in the country. And quite frankly, the game one on Saturday, the Spartans should have won. It was a 4-2 game, or actually it was a 4-3 game with the bases loaded, ground ball on the infield, and the Spartans threw it away, and that allowed 2 runs to score. And then, it was 4-2 because it tied the game at 4, and then the captains got another run to win it in the top of the 7th. So that was a tough loss, and then they split with Mary Washington on Sunday. So, 18-8. If you would have sat down and said, "Hey, at the beginning of the year, you're going to be 18-8 after 26 games, would you take it?" I would have said, "Where do I sign up?" This is a team without a senior. And this is a team that is very, very young. And you said the record that broke, it was Carly Ruhlman hitting another home run. She now has 18 for her career, which breaks Joy Byers' record, school record for home runs in a career. Certainly it's nice to know that Carly's only a junior, so she has a chance to put the record out of reach. I had told her yesterday, I said, you have the record now go put it out, go put it in a place where it's going to take a lot to break it. So Spartans will return home tomorrow, F&M, 3 o'clock, and then they'll close out the 8-game homestand with a doubleheader against Hood
College on Wednesday. That also begins at 3 o'clock. And then a big trip to Salisbury and a trip to Wesley this weekend as conference play is starting to wrap up for softball. We're only 2 weeks away from the conference tournament. So it's the spring is quickly coming to a close, which is hard to believe. It just seemed like a couple of weeks ago we were sitting here and wondering if it was ever going to end. But it's been pretty good, and softball certainly has a great chance of winning. They can get to 20. They should be able to get to 20, and they might have a chance to get to 30, which would be a heck of an accomplishment for a team as young as they are.
Yeah, I messed it up. They've won 7 of their last 10
That's
officially. Okay. But any weather issues expected with the 2 home doubleheaders the next 2 days?
Actually, it's interesting trying to look at the weather right now and figure out exactly what's going on. I know today's not supposed to be great, but I think we're in a situation where we need to just keep plugging along. I don't know if it's going to be bad enough to not allow us to play. It's supposed to rain, like I said, today. Tomorrow, colder and sunny and 45, which means it feels like about 35 out at the softball field because there's really no protection. And then Wednesday is supposed to be warmer. So hopefully these 2 games will be able to get in. I know the field was tarped last night, so any rain we should get today should be able to be, should be fine. We should be good to go tomorrow. So the field's actually in great shape. It's really good. The wind the other day dry it out pretty much. Yeah. So I have to tell this story. I was on my way home. I was bringing my daughter home from a movie on Saturday night. We're pulling into our neighborhood.
And you both blew away.
No, but there was a trampoline that was bounding across the street. Scared the crap out of me. I mean, this is huge. And it's in an area where it's not very well lit. It's a kind of an entry road into our neighborhood. And, there was a trampoline. It had blown into the middle of not in the middle of the road. I was able to get around it, but I didn't see it till the last second. And because it's dark.
Yeah.
It's dark and it's black. The rails are black. It's not silver at all, so there's really nothing to reflect off of it. It was a scary experience. And it was, I picked her up probably about 10 o'clock, and the wind was nuts. I mean, it was kind of scary. I have an SUV, and it was blowing pretty good. So it was not a whole lot of fun. That was not a fun trip to go pick my daughter up from the movies.
Wow. And in the West, they have tumbleweed. Here in the East, we have trampolines that
oh, my goodness.
tumble down the street.
It was.
How's your gas mileage, by the way? Good?
It's okay.
Okay.
It allows me to carry a lot of baseball equipment, so that is the key.
Well, I wanted to get to baseball in this segment as well, and they're trying to snap a skid here. They're already going to have to wait one more day to attempt that. Tomorrow's game at Messiah has been postponed, but home against Frostburg State on Wednesday at 3:30.
Yeah, it's a situation where not a lot of things have gone right for this team, and I know it's frustrating for Coach Scappa to kind of be on this role, but this is a team that's pretty young. You have 2 seniors that play every day in Steve Miller and Sean Mulholland. So, you have a lot of guys coming back, but, a prime example of that is Saturday they're up. They give one big inning up to Marymount. It's a 4-0 game. They give up a 12-run 4th inning, which is that's a killer. That's a backbreaker. So you lose the first game, still have an opportunity to get a split. You're up 6-3 heading into the 9th inning, and you give up a 4 spot in the bottom of the 9th to lose the game 7-6. So instead of getting out of Dodge with a split, which is what they've been doing all year, which actually has worked okay. It put them in pretty good position in the conference to make the conference championship. You go from instead of 6-6 in the conference, you're now 5-7 in the conference. You got a tough Frostburg team coming, and then Salisbury comes this weekend. So all of a sudden, things are looking a little bit more challenging. And this is a team that's battled back, and despite the record, they've continued to fight and play hard. But I hope I'm wrong in this, but Saturday, the games like that are just backbreakers, where you're just, it really is a situation. The winning run actually scored on a single that got under the outfielder's glove and rolled the whole way to the wall, and he circled. It was like a little league home run, and that's you feel bad for the kid who made the mistake. He's trying. He's actually the tying run at the time was on second base, so he's trying to cut down or prevent that tying run from scoring. So he's coming up throwing. Unfortunately, came up without the ball, which is it's tough, and obviously nobody wants to lose a game like that. But these things are part of the growing process, and this team is still and the fact matters. You've got to get a little bit more talented. We have our number 1 pitcher's hurt and has thrown exactly 5 innings or 6 innings all year, and that was the first start of the year. So that changes your pitching rotation, and it bumps guys up that maybe in positions they're not quite ready for, and you're not quite as deep. I think if you would have said that going in the beginning of the year that, Elliott would have been our top starter, Randy Frankenfield would be the second starter, and then Joel Kenny would be our number 1 starter, or number 3 starter. So that sets up your conference rotation. Joel throws on a Wednesday, and then Elliott and Randy throw on Saturday. Well, that had to get totally scrapped because Randy was hurt for a part of the year too. So, it went from then Randy became the Wednesday starter, and then Joel and Jeff Noss for a while had become the Saturday starter. Well, Jeff is going to be a really good pitcher for us. He's not quite there yet. So he's stuck in a position of having to pitch games that, quite frankly, he's maybe not completely ready for, though I think he's really good. And, you look at his stats, and his record is certainly not what you want to see. But the kid has ability, and I think he's going to be a pretty good pitcher for us over the course of time. But it's just one of those things that it's kind of snowballed. It's kind of gone bad, and it's just continued to not get breaks that you need to be successful.
Yeah, well, hopefully Wednesday at home they can get back on track.
That would be great. That'd be a big win if they can knock off Frostburg.
Yeah, it would be. That's a challenging one, but hopefully some home cooking can help them get it done. And we will head to our final break on this show. We'll wrap it up for you and get you off to Championship Monday coming up here on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
There's no running from it. Tax season will be here before you know it. The professionals at Frank Storm & Company can help alleviate the headache. Voted one of the best for 14 years by the York Dispatch readers for both your personal and business tax needs, Frank Storm & Company makes the process easy. Payrolls, sales tax, compilations for your business, in addition to your personal tax service. Call today to set up your appointment at one of 3 convenient locations: York, Dallastown, and Hanover. Committed to personalized quality service, Frank Storm & Company. Visit online at frankstormandco.com.
At Northwestern Mutual, we take a disciplined and balanced approach to financial planning. Together, we'll help build your financial future on time-tested principles, not market trends, so you can take advantage of life's opportunities. To learn more, contact me, Dan McGarry, at my office on the square in York. Look for the blue awnings. Who's helping you build your financial future? The Northwestern Mutual Life Insurance Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
At OSS Health, our highly trained physicians are on the field, in the training room, at home games, or away. From preseason physicals to postseason surgery, we're on the sidelines so athletes don't have to be, getting you back in the game. When it comes to sports medicine, we're the ones you've trusted for 30 years. OSS Health Sports Medicine, experience you can trust. Visit us online at osshealth.com.
Your home for the Spartans. Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
About 2 minutes until NCAA pregame, which will then last about 3 hours, and then they'll have Villanova.
You know what? It amazes me that it takes, you go these pregame shows, and it's like just, and it's with everything. It's not just, it just kind of is a little overkill. Just, hey, how about put the game on at 8 o'clock? Let's do that. Can we put the game on at 8 o'clock instead of 9:20, whatever it is end up going to be?
Good programming for us, but
it's great programming for us.
We'll have it all night.
Exactly. I guess I just I think and I think about this with the World Series too. Why, if you're Major League Baseball, are you not playing games earlier?
Yeah, I know.
My son's a huge baseball fan, loves it, but he can't watch. I'm not going to let him stay up and watch a game if it starts at 8:30. He was watching the Mets Royals the other night. I'm like, you got to turn the TV off. You got to go to bed.
Yeah.
It's like he's like, but I want to watch the game. I get that, but you can't because you got to get up for school the next day. So I think Major League Baseball. I think the NCAA does it with the college football championship game,
no
the
doubt.
Basketball championship game. It's on so late, and I understand TV and I understand revenue, though it's on TBS. The national championship game is on TBS. It's not even on CBS.
Yeah.
That just, when I saw that, and I don't remember that being like that before, that blew my mind. I'm like, how is CBS playing billions of dollars and not having the championship game on their network? It amazes me. But
good for Conan, but
I guess what a great lead-in, huh? Here you go. Though it's going to be like a hour-long post-game show, too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable what they – the other night I was watching it was 2 weeks ago when it was in the round of 16, and the TV just happened to leave it on after the last game, and then they do this, like, long post-game show, and I'm like, holy crap. It's like, what are they doing?
Yeah.
But I guess there's, they pay a lot of money for it, so I guess they want to get their money's worth. But holy cow.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. But so hopefully tonight we have a good game. Let's hope for that.
Yeah.
Who do you think? Who's your pick, Darrell?
Well, as a Philadelphia sports fan, I hope the city gets to celebrate. I'll take Nova. I think there's some magic there.
I think you're right, and I've been wrong all year, so it doesn't really matter if you're a Villanova guy. You probably want me to pick North Carolina. I think it comes down to who shoots the ball better. Obviously, Nova was unbelievable the other day in shooting the basketball, and I think that Carolina's really shot the ball well in the tournament. I think the biggest thing is for me is the inside play of North Carolina. Can they get enough inside to be able to kind of counteract some of that shooting that Villanova brings to the game? Because I think Villanova's really good. They're well coached. Both teams very well coached. Two really good programs and two programs that it should be a fun game to watch. So, is it the 20th anniversary of when they beat or is it 21 years when they beat Georgetown?
21.
Is it 21?
I
couldn't
85,
remember if it was the exact anniversary, but certainly it's it should be pretty interesting. So it could be a lot of fun tonight, I think.
Yeah, 85 is when they did that.
Yeah.
Well, we'll wrap this up, Scott, with a quick golf update.
Yeah, they were third. They went up to the prestigious Hershey Cup yesterday. They're third as a team. Tyler Newton leads the way. He was tied for second with a 75. Brandon Herr shot 82. Ryan Walbach 81. Alex Colton 83 as they sat for a team total of 321. So they had a really good, they put themselves in pretty good position today. They're actually out on the course right now, which is not really great since the weather has kind of turned a little ugly this afternoon. But it'd be interesting to see how they can come back and see if they can put together a good round and be in position to post a top 5 finish at the Hershey Cup, which certainly would be a not only pretty interesting, but pretty great finish if the Spartans are able to pull that off.
All right. Well, Scott, thank you for coming in here today. Enjoy the sports tonight on our station and everywhere else.
That's right, baseball. Love it.
And we'll catch up next week.
Sounds good.
It'll be Revs baseball time next week. First
how hard
spring training getting started. So.
That'll be awesome. Certainly a lot of exciting things going around the ballpark. And
just do the show from out there.
Why not? Let's do it. We could.
Yeah.
That would be fun. So
crack of the bat.
No, it's certainly hard to believe that it's time to be here, and it's always nice to see the activity around the stadium. I heard some drills and some power equipment going as I was walking in today. So
sounds of spring.
certainly a good sign, and the field's going to get some nice, nourishing rain today. Apparently, as I look out and see it raining again.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. We've had all this wet weather recently. But yet we've lost very few games, which is great because that means we don't have to make them up and they're actually played on the day they're supposed to. So hopefully we can keep that trend going for a couple more weeks.
Could be a nightmare at this time of year, but it's, knock on wood, been manageable, I guess. But that'll do it. And for Scott Guise, Darrell Henry saying so long from our People's Bank Park studios. The NCAA Men's Championship game coming up next here on Sports Radio 1350. Thanks for listening to York College Spartan Sports Weekly. We'll talk to you next Monday at 6.
Your home for York's home team. The York College Spartans play here. Sports Radio 1350, WOYK, York.